We're talking about specifically pharmaceutical drugs, okay? Now, when I talk about pharmaceutical drugs, I'm talking about 99% of them, most of them. I'm talking about the stuff that people use when they say they're sad. The doctor comes, they give them a pill. Or another one is a big one is like Ozempic. I'm seeing that everywhere. And I was reading that there's actually a lawsuit for Ozempic because of the side effects that it's caused. It's actually harmed people. And so let's get right into it. Pharmaceutical drugs for people that suffer from depression and sadness and lack of motivation and anxiety. The list goes on and on, right? Now, I want to be very clear. I am not a psychiatrist. I am not a doctor. This is just my personal opinion. When you say that you're sad or you have anxiety or depression or a list of just negative feelings of being, I would ask, or what I would wonder is, what's your lifestyle looking like? Are you going outside and getting sun? Are you sweating? Are you exercising? What's your social life looking like? Do you have a partner? Do you have family? Are you spending time with them? What's your job looking like? What kind of job are you doing? Is it giving you satisfaction? Are you happy with what you're doing? What are you doing outside of your job? Are you using substance abuse, you know? Really, guys, I've come to understand that the biggest problem with pharmaceuticals is that, and to be clear, I do believe that there are people that genuinely do need these drugs to function. They genuinely need these drugs to be able to live. And I'm not saying that those people shouldn't take it. What I'm saying is that I believe that most people that are on these pharmaceuticals, they get on them to get that relief. But the issue is that they end up being on them for the rest of their life. And I think that can cause a lot of problems in your brain, your chemicals. One thing that I read the other day is that a lot of psychiatrists, a lot of doctors say you have a chemical imbalance. Well, there was a study done where they took the serotonin, they measured the serotonin off of somebody who was happy and the serotonin off of someone who was depressed. And they actually found there was no difference in the serotonin levels. I think even the word chemical imbalance, there is no study. They don't test you to see if you're actually imbalanced. They just tell you you're chemically imbalanced, which is crazy. You know, they're telling you your chemicals are all over the place, and that's why you're unhappy. And that is the biggest lie from the truth, guys. If you're on if you're on any pharmaceutical, guys, again, I'm not a doctor, and you're on them right now, I would highly suggest you start doing research on what these drugs can do long term to you. Okay, I've said these things, right, and I've had people say, well. So you're telling me that the pharmaceuticals is better than me smoking marijuana or me having a drink? Listen. I would argue that the natural stuff is going to be better for you long term. But with that being said, what I will say is addiction and substance abuse is addiction and substance abuse. Whether it's grown from the earth or it's made in a lab, addiction is addiction is addiction. And whether you're addicted to drinking or smoking or you're addicted to the pharmaceutical stuff made in a lab, it's going to lead to long-term problems, guys. You know, and again, I'm not a doctor, but if you're somebody, and this is not to target people. I'm not saying what you're doing is if you take the pharmaceuticals or you drink or smoke, I'm not saying you're a bad person. What I'm saying is that you really need to look into what you're doing, because a lot of these things, guys, they go from being medicine to a crutch. They go from being like I'll give you an example, like Ambien. You know, I have some problems sleeping, and I was like, well, maybe I'll just take some Ambien. Then I started doing research on what it will be like to get off of Ambien. They compare it to opiate withdrawals. They compare it to like getting off of heroin, and like, guys, this is a serious thing. So if you're taking any of these pharmaceuticals, I'm not saying that you're a bad person. What I'm saying is have your exit plan. Know how you're going to get off of this so you can live a happy life, guys. You can live a happy, healthy life. You can do it sober, guys. It's a real thing. The second thing I want to talk about is Ozempic. Is another thing that it's a pharmaceutical, right? It's made in a lab, and now there's lawsuits on Ozempic that cause gastroparesis. I'm probably butchering that word, but it's a word that pretty much means that your the your stomach, in a sense, stops being able to digest properly due to the side effects of Ozempic. That, among many other side effects, that's why there's lawsuits now. You can just type in Ozempic lawsuits. And again, it kind of goes back to the same thing about what we're talking about, the pharmaceuticals that help with people who are anxious or depressed. And I would ask, what's your lifestyle going to? The Ozempic, guys, long term or even short term, they're finding out it's not good for you. And why are people taking Ozempic? Why are you taking Ozempic? Why aren't you in the gym? Why aren't you going outside and burning, man? Why aren't you do now? With that being said, do I think there are benefits to pharmaceuticals and to drugs? Yeah, there are when you use it as an actual medicine. But the issue is that when they prescribe this to you, you get hooked to this. Then you can't get off of it because you're hooked to it and you need this to function. And now you're hooked to it for the rest of your life. And that can lead to so many mental illnesses, guys. Like, don't take my word for it. Go online, if you're on anything, type in the name of the drug and look long-term effects. It's right there, guys. They make it on the labels. They put it on the labels. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not telling you. There are people that genuinely do need these pharmaceuticals to function. I believe that. But I believe that most people that are on it, they're on it for nonsense, BS reasons. And it's just because their lack of a healthy lifestyle. I believe a healthy lifestyle is the difference between being fully like natural and like not needing anything, just exercising, enjoying, having fulfillment in your job, with your community. And then the difference is the other people with pharmaceuticals, nobody intends to be hooked on anything for life, but they're pharmaceuticals, guys. They're made in a way to get you hooked so that you don't get off of it. Drinking, smoking, all these things, guys, it's temporary relief, but it can lead to long-term addiction. And when you're hooked to something, guys, your withdrawal doesn't matter if it's growing on the earth or whatever the case is. When you're addicted to something, you go through withdrawal and it makes you feel like absolute crap. So again, guys, pharmaceuticals, stuff that they say is growing in the earth, which is really no longer made on the earth. They're made in labs. Drinking, addiction in any form, Ozempic, all these things, guys, you don't need them. 9 out of 10 times, you're not going to need these things. Live a healthy lifestyle so you can live a long life. You can live a long, happy life. I know it sounds kind of like very simple what I'm telling you. When you start ingesting these pharmaceuticals and when you start trying to cheat the way, you want to try to find cheat codes to be happy, or you want to find a cheat code to lose weight, I think that there's short-term benefits to use it in a medicinal way. But guys, there has to be a plan to get off of it, because as you're seeing, what God creates is perfect. When man comes and makes these things, we are not perfect. Human beings are not perfect. We make mistakes every day. We have a sinful nature, and anything that we create, pretty much anything that humans create, guys, because we have a sinful nature, is gonna have its errors in itself. And that's the truth about it. God makes things perfect. Man has it because of our nature. Nothing that we make is going to be perfect. It's never be to that level of God, which is perfect. And that's why you need to always be wary of anything that you're taking to induce short-term benefits for the cost of long-term addiction. And if you're hooked on a pharmaceutical a long time and you can't get off of it, I'm sad to say that's a form of addiction. You can't get off of it, So again, I'm just a big believer in healthy lifestyle, exercising, eating right, getting enough rest, 8 hours of sleep. Hey, I need my 8 hours of sleep. 6 hours of sleep, I'm banged up, man. It's just the truth. Just focus on having a healthy lifestyle. And again, if you're watching this and you are on any pharmaceuticals, I'm not telling you to stop cold turkey. There's a way to get off these things. Just don't be on them for the rest of your life, guys. Most of you guys don't need this stuff. There are certain people, small percentage of people that do need this to function. I'm not targeting anybody. I'm not talking down on anybody. But if you're watching this, Try to find a way to get off of these things because in the long run, they are not good for you. I hope this helps anybody watching this. I love you guys and have a great day.